Namaskar to all traders and welcome. So this video will be on comparison between instant funding and finotive funding. I'll compare their instant funding programs in which you don't have to appear any challenge. You directly get a funded account. Once you pay the fees, you get a funded account, and upon which whatever the profit that you generate, there is no profit target. Whatever the profit that you generate, you will receive your payout on a weekly or bi-weekly basis depending on the prop firm. So I'll compare these two prop firms because both of them have a very nice instant funding. So I'll just make the side-by-side comparison so that you can decide which one to go according to your own preference. Before moving ahead, in case if you have not subscribed the channel yet, then kindly consider subscribing the channel to stay updated on Propfirm related topics. So in order to make the comparison, I have considered various factors like I do, and I have kept both the Propfirm side by side. So first factor is profit target. In both the Propfirm, there is no profit target. You can withdraw as less as you want. There is a minimum withdrawal which can be around like $50, $100, whatever. So that is the only thing. Like rest of the thing, there is no profit target or nothing. You can withdraw as less as you want. So like whatever the profit that you generate, depending on the Propfirm, they will give you the payout like on a weekly or bi-weekly basis. So there is no comparison in that. Daily drawdown and its type. So in finotive funding, there is a maximum daily loss which is of 5%, and it is calculated based on the balance. So balance at the starting of the day. In case of instant funding, there is no daily drawdown. And for this, I would give, of course, since instant funding don't have any daily drawdown, I would give a green signal in an instant funding out here. Now maximum drawdown and its type. In case of finotive funding, it is 8%, which is fixed type of drawdown. It will not trail. Whereas in case of instant funding, the maximum drawdown is 10%, and it is kind of a smart drawdown, which is kind of like partially trailing type of drawdown. It will trail once you make 5% profit in your account. It will trail and stay minus 5% from your balance, and it will remain fixed there. So for example, you have 100k account, you made $5,000 profit, and your stop out level at that point in time, it will trail from 90,000 to 95,000, and at 95,000 it will remain fixed there. So this is a smart drawdown. This is called a smart drawdown. It is a partially trailing type of drawdown. So however, in case if I need to make the comparison out here, I would give finotive funding, since they have a fixed drawdown. I would give finotive funding green signal out here. Now if we look at the setup fees to allowable loss or like allowable loss ratio, actually the thing is, the importance, the significance of this thing is, if you see in most of the Propfirm, what happens, whatever the fees that you are paying, in case of instant funding, they will allow you to lose near around that amount only. So that is something which becomes a very important factor when you are comparing the instant funding of different Propfirms. So you have to see like how much fees you are paying and how much maximum loss they are allowing you to lose. Since it is instant funding, it is not a challenge funding. So that's the reason. So however, if you see here, in case of finotive funding, say for example, we are just taking an example of 10k account. If you are buying a 10k account instant funding in a finotive funding, you will need to pay $400, and they will allow you to lose maximum loss of $800. So if you see just the ratio, it comes around 1:2. Whereas in case of instant funding, if you see, so $440 you are paying for 10k account, and 10% is the maximum loss that they are allowing. That means $1,000. So it comes around 1:2.7. It's just meaning that like they are allowing you to lose around double the times that you are paying. Like the higher the ratio, better it is. So if you see out here, in case of instant funding, the ratio is higher. That means they are allowing you to lose higher than the fees that you are paying compared to finotive funding. But the thing is, it is important to note out here is that they have a smart type of drawdown. So which is something like it will trail like minus 5%, something like that. So that is something out here which is gone out here. So however, if I need to give a rating out here, if I need to give a signal out here, I would give this finotive funding green signal out here, because if you go with the higher account size, you get a better ratio out here. Whereas in case of smart drawdown, like you remain same kind of ratio out here. Now leverage, that is 1:100 in both the Propfirm, and the broker is Finotive Markets. In case of finotive funding, both have their in-house broker, and instant funding also have their own house broker. And the commission is, in case of finotive funding, $4 per round lot you will have to pay. In case of instant funding, $5 per round lot. And Trading platform, if you see finotive funding, they have their own MetaQuartz license. So for this this finotive funding, what will happen, like they are providing with you with a MT5 license, like MT5 trading platform, whereas in case of instant funding they only provide you with a DX trade, that is also as a web platform. So that is something. For this reason, like I would give finotive funding a green signal, and for commission as well I would like to give finotive funding a green signal out here in this case. Now next, coming to the profit split. Initially, in case of finotive funding, they will give you 55% of profit split, which can be scaled up to 75%. And in case of instant funding, it starts from 70% and it can be scaled to 90%. So for this, I would give profit split, I would give instant funding green signal out here. Next is payout model. Now first payout, whenever you want to receive, like in case of finotive funding, you can take out the payout on demand, and after that you get a payout on a weekly basis. And in case of this instant funding as well, first payout you get on a 14 days. After 14 days, once you place it first trade on the funded account, after 14 days, and after that you will receive the payout on a 7-day basis. So for this payout and all, like both are same, but still if I need to compare, I'll just give the finotive funding green signal out here. Next is stop loss rule. This is the kind of con that they have, finotive funding have. They have some rules, you know, like risk management rules. Stop loss rules, you have to place a stop loss no matter what between 2 minutes. So that is the rule that they have, whereas in case of instant funding they don't have that rule. So I would give green signal in instant funding. And again, total risk rule, in finotive funding they have a total risk rule. That means you cannot open a cumulative position. Total risk should not exceed more than 2.5% in case of instant funding. They have two types of instant funding. One is like normal and other is like aggressive. In case of aggressive, 5% is the maximum. However, you get a maximum daily loss as well, like higher than that, higher than this one. So this is the total risk rule is out here. They have 2.5% is the maximum risk that you can risk at any given time. And in case of instant funding, there is no rules like that. So for this, I would give instant funding plus 1 point or green signal in this thing. Now coming to the prohibited strategies or restricted trading styles, that is in case of finotive, high frequency trading, latency arbitrage, news trading, news straddling, stop order arbitrage, account management service, these are not allowed. In case of instant funding, high frequency, grid, martingale trading are not allowed. Now next is in case of over weekend out here, like this, there is no comparison in this. Next is over weekend holding. In case of finotive funding, it's allowed. However, in case of instant funding, you have to go and manually enable from your dashboard. So in case if you don't manually enable, then they will just close automatically. So make sure to manually enable. So make sure to manually enable this thing, this over weekend from your dashboard once you get the instant funding account. Next is news trading. Yes, it's allowed in both the Propfirm and scaling plan. In case of finotive funding, they have a scaling plan based on the chart, like depending on like each phase you have to gain a different profit, then they will scale your account depending on the chart that you can see on the screen. And next is scaling plan for this instant funding is you have to gain a minimum of 10%, and once you request for scaling up, they will deduct 5% out of that profit, and they will double your account size. So you have to reduce 5% in this. However, they are doubling your account size every time you like request for scaling up. They can scale it up to $2.5 million. So I'll just leave it to you. Depending on your own preference, you can make your own comparison out here. And fees, if we check now, like $400 for 10K account in case of instant funding. In case of finotive funding, in case of instant funding, it is $440 for 10K account. And the discount coupon that we have for finotive is JamtsonFX for 5% discount, and you get 5% extra profit split as well from the beginning itself. So for example, if their profit split is starting from 55%, you will get a 60% profit split from the beginning itself. So you can use this coupon, and also you get a 5% discount in it. And next is in case of instant funding, we have a 10% discount coupon, that is JamtsonFX. That is the thing, and discounted price will come around $396, and discount in finotive funding discounted price comes around like $380. So for this thing, like it depends on your own preference. I would like because like it, in case of instant funding, it does not matter, the fees doesn't only like defines the things, because like you have to look at the maximum loss as well, like what is the maximum loss that they are allowing. So that is the reason out here. So I'll just leave it to you, just compare yourself, like just check with your own preference, like what is your preference, and check with that. So that's it about the comparison. Thank you so much for joining in. Thank you so much. JamtsonFX closing the comparison between instant funding of finotive funding and instant funding Propfirm. Thank you.